All right, hey, here again. I'm not an attorney, so consult your own advisors. But here's one of the documents we have previously mentioned, an agreement regarding personal property. This is for when you are going to be exchanging goods. The seller is going to leave something for the buyer that's not real estate. This we don't you don't have to get to putting your refrigerator and dishwasher and micro hood and oven range and washer and dryer on here, but if you start getting into play set and fire pit, that's not attached to the ground fire pit, but even sometimes the lender will balk at these items. So if you have a shed on here on your purchase agreement, could be an issue. This is going to be the document where you could buy, you could the couch, the whatever. So if it's free, it goes on here. If it's not free, then you're just going to work it out and make sure that it's still there, and then you pay for it at closing, sort of thing, if your clients want to put together a bill of sale. But that's not our business. That is not how we operate. We talk about for value received, buyers shall become the owner. And now you could technically write in here that, $500 will be paid to the seller for these items, blah, 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 whatever it is. But for the value received, buyer shall become the owner upon the closing of the real estate referred to above of the following items of personal property of sellers. So again, it's final walkthrough. The couch is still there. Perfect. Then you drive to the closing table. Closing table, you hand them $50. Now the couch is yours. Close the house. Done. So sometimes you need pictures. Sometimes it's obvious. You're just going to describe it or mention it or whatever. But if they've got 14 couches, you might need to specify that it's the flowered couch that is in the basement, or you might want to take a picture of it and attach it and have them sign that, as pictured in Exhibit A, and have an Exhibit A paper that has a picture of the couch, that sort of thing. Seller warrants that the seller owns the property. That's pretty good to know. And it's free and clear of all encumbrances. It's not from Tony's Rent-A-Furniture, and all of a sudden they're going to try to come get it. Seller does not warrant or guarantee the condition of or future performance of the property being conveyed on this document. So, the couch may have a really bad problem with the way the leg rest kicks out, and the buyer never tested it, and now they got a couch with a bad kick out. The seller is not guaranteeing a condition of the piece of furniture. So that's what this document is. Don't overthink it, but here's how I handle things. I tend to, if the purchase is contingent on receiving the personal property we might list here, then you've got yourself in a little bit of a pickle, okay? Because if your buyer is not going to buy this house unless they give us this couch for free, then you're going to need to actually put it in the purchase agreement, because it is legitimately a condition of this purchase. Your lender is going to have trouble with it, and then you're going to have to come back later and do an amendment that removes the couch, and then do an addendum you don't show the lender that adds the couch back in, or an agreement regarding personal property, that puts the couch back in the deal. We do not send this to the lender, okay? So if you're going to ask your client, okay, let me ask you a quick question. We're willing to buy the house for $200,000, but only if they sell us the couch? Or are we buying the house and we hope they'll give us the couch for free or reasonable price? And most of the time, we're going to buy the house, but we do like the couch. We'd love to have it thrown in. Well, if they want it thrown in, if that is part of the negotiations, then this is what I'm talking to my client. If that's part of the negotiations, then I'm going to have to write this on the purchase agreement, which is fine. So you write it on the purchase agreement. Then after it's all signed, the deal's done, you're going to probably want to go back to the seller agent, the listing agent, and say, listen, we need to get this sofa off of the purchase agreement. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you an agreement regarding personal property that includes the couch, and I'm going to send you an amendment that takes it off of the purchase agreement. And then we're going to go to the amendments, right? sofa is removed from the purchase agreement, line 143, whatever it is. And then you're going to do this agreement regarding personal property that says sofa, or describe the sofa, or do the picture thing I talked about. Okay? That's how you handle it. And then you send all the stuff to the bank, because honest to goodness, the bank is going to make you take the sofa off every single time. Okay? They don't lend on private property. They're lending on a house, on real estate. Okay? But if it's like, we just like it, not a huge deal, then you can actually send the purchase agreement without it on it, and then send this along with the purchase agreement. And in most cases, they're gonna assume it's all a package deal, and they'll call you and say, hey, we're not giving you the sofa, but we're willing to accept the purchase agreement. And you decide with your client if that's okay. Or if they just send the purchase agreement back signed and they ignored the agreement, then you know they're not going to give it to you, and oh well, because your client had already told you if they don't want to give it to us, then that's fine. So, if it's a requirement or you want it to be at least a part of the negotiations, personal property needs to go on the purchase agreement. And then you can fix the purchase agreement by removing it with an amendment and then doing this document. If you don't really care, then you can just get the purchase agreement done and send this later, after some conversations, which is what I end up doing a lot of times. Or if you want to make it feel like it's a part of the purchase, like it's guaranteed, like it has to be part of it, then you could send this at the same time as the PA and hope they kind of read it as it's one big concept instead of two separate deals, even though it would be two separate deals at that point. So that's this agreement regarding personal property. There's a lot to that. Big goal, just stay away from personal property. But if they really want that hot tub, fine. Figure out, is it a part of the deal? Like, are you not going to buy this house? I guess I should say, is it a part of the negotiations? If it's a part of the negotiations, it needs to go on the PA, or you need to do the PA and this at the same time. That's plan B. But I would honestly, if it's part of the negotiations, do it on the purchase agreement and then come back, do an amendment to take the hot tub off, and do an agreement regarding personal property to put it back on as part of the deal. If it's like, we'll talk about the hot tub later, like we'll take it, we'll not take it, whatever, then great. Do the purchase agreement, and then after it's all done, dust is settled, then a day later, come back and talk about, hey, we'd like the hot tub. We're willing to pay a small amount or take it for free so you don't have to move it. And then you do the agreement regarding personal property. That never goes to the lender. Okay, never goes to the title company, just between the people. Now, here's the interesting piece. Don't forget, in regards to this personal property, much of the time you could be doing the seller a favor by taking something like a hot tub. They don't want it anyway. They can't move it. They don't want to move it. It's going to fall apart if they do. Whatever. So you could be doing them a favor by taking that hot tub, or by taking that dog couch in the basement, or by taking that huge entertainment center that was built for TVs from the 1970s. So lots of stuff to think about, but this is that document for personal property that comes free of charge generally with the house, okay? It could include stuff you're paying for, but by and large, this is where you're going to put personal property outside of kitchen appliances and stuff that's pretty well attached, like washers and dryers. All right? That's the story.